What's up, YouTube? Eric here with MajorLeagueTrading.com, and we're kicking off OPEX week this week. So it is the third Friday of the month here, coming up in just a couple of days. So we will be seeing some interesting action, and I kind of thought that today, with that coming up later in the week, futures rollover, and then also the economic calendar, which we'll take a look at in a minute, that we would be relatively quiet here for a day or two. And turns out that's really not the case. Now we did get a pretty decent move here overall for today. I mean, SPY here up $1.79, 0.39%. And when we look kind of across the board at the indices, NASDAQ stands out here as the most, up 0.90%. Russell, the weakest here, 0.30, and then the Dow at 0.46. And the thing is, I didn't really think that we would see this type of breakout here. And the reason behind this, right, it's really interesting. When you take a look across the board, minus a few names, generally speaking, the market looked like it was actually, lower today overall. And that's kind of what was leading me in the morning. I saw a bunch of names getting some rather decent gaps to the downside. And I'm like, okay, cool. We can leave this be for the day, let some things settle. And then as the day went on, and we started, checking quotes and things like that, it's like, okay, cool. We've got Apple down 1.29%, right? We move that over. We take a look at Amazon. Okay, Amazon's down, 1.04%. We take a look at Google. Google's down 1.26%, right? And the list goes on and on. I mean, Meta's down 2.24%. NVIDIA, obviously a weaker one, almost down 2%. Microsoft was a weak one in the morning. I was talking about this under that 368.54 level, which got smacked initially right off the open here. Somehow managed to hold. But again, down, 0.78%. And then when we look over at something like an AMD, there's where we can see some strength, right? It's up 4.26% on the day. A nice 1, 2, 3 on the daily out of that name. And then AVGO here is probably one of the biggest ones in which I saw moving today. This thing was up 9% here. Absolute massive daily bar here. Total range on the day, 83.5 points. So big move out of this one. But overall, I felt like it was a good day to take off, and I did not see this move coming. So if you did not get this move, if you felt a little bit of FOMO here, maybe in something like an AVGO, I think that's totally fine. And for me, I'm also looking at, kind of later into the week, right? It's like Monday, we really don't have anything here. We're coming up with the OPEX, we're coming up with FOMC, we're coming up on, the futures roll, all these things. And I look at the calendar and I go, okay, cool, Tuesday, tomorrow we've got CPI, right? We've also got a 30-year bond auction later in the day. So there's some stuff in the morning, 8:30, that should move us and give us something, to at least work with. Wednesday, we've got, core PPI. We've got all that stuff coming out at 8:30 a.m. And then, of course, the big thing is going to be FOMC here at 2 and the conference at 2:30. So we got things to do both and Tuesday and Wednesday. We look at Thursday. We've got more stuff coming out here at 8:30. We've got the core retail sales. We've got unemployment claims. And then Friday here, we do have a couple of things coming out. Empire State, and then the flash manufacturing and flash services here at 9:45, right? So we have a whole bunch of things coming up here for the rest of the week. And what I want to say from that is that if you missed out on something like an AVGO today, if you missed out on, let's say, the NASDAQ here, which, managed to move 150 some odd points on the day, right? If you missed out on something like that, I think it's totally fine, because there are at least 4 more days left in this week. And there is something happening each day, with a big decision coming up on FOMC Wednesday, which typically leads to nice trades on Thursday and even Friday after that, right? So I'm not pressed here early on in the week. The names in which I just went through, right, some of those, being like Microsoft, the NVIDIAs, the Teslas of the world, this AVGO, those are the names right now that are kind of standing out to me as I scan through the list, and those are going to be some of the ones in which I want to, kind of carry through the rest of this week, watch and start to let these develop a bit more, and see really where this overall market wants to go from FOMC, and then look to do something accordingly, right? we're already, which we've been saying this, right? We're already really, really far to the upside here, over the past few weeks out of the overall indices. That's not to say we've been looking for a pullback at some point. We got a week's worth of consolidation, a week and a half's worth of consolidation. Maybe that's enough for this breakout that we saw from Friday into today to carry us through, right? So we'll see a lot more information on the charts coming up after Wednesday, so I'm not really looking to press too much into that. And the earnings calendar is basically nothing at this point, right? We're essentially out of earnings season. We're coming up on kind of the end of the year there. So with that being said, also not a time to get yourself in trouble. And we do have earnings that'll be kicking off very, very soon. And if this breakout does want to hold, we could be looking at those new all-time highs here out of these markets like we talked about just the other week. So anyways, that's what I've got for tonight's free video. No trades out of me today. Left the desk early, and then we'll see what tomorrow brings. But I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be the better opportunities here for this week. So take care. Hope it helps, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.